Alright, second day of assessment information for Chapter 4. This is officially closing out Chapter 4 for tomorrow's brief assessment. Tomorrow's assessment is quick because we do have a short day tomorrow. It is a five question assessment that, again, I hope you're ready for, and I hope you use the time today to get ready for it. Last two portions, what you need to know, revolve around making tables and graphing from the given information. Because time is precious, again, we're just going to get right into it. Most of the functions that you are dealing with have a rate of change, which would be your m that we talked about, and a starting point. That would actually be the other number. This allows us to graph very easily. Imagine that we are graphing a line with the following properties. So if it has the properties where it starts at 0, -5, and the dependent variable, which is y, increases by 2 for every time the independent variable increases by 1. So what that means is that if I were to look at a table here, 0, -5, the independent variable increases by 1. The dependent variable increases by 2, so that would be -3. The independent variable increases by 1. The dependent variable increases by 2. That would be -1. The independent variable increases by 1. This increases by 2. This increases by 1. That increases by 2. And that increases by 1. That increases by 2. Plotting these points, 0, -5, remember it means don't go left or right, but do go 5 down. 1, -3 means over 1 and down 3. 2, -1 means over 2, down 1. 3, 1 means over 3, positive 1 will be up 1. 4, 3 means 1, 2, 3. And 5, 5 means over 5, up 5. Do you see the straight line that occurs with that graph here? My question is, and again you would use a ruler for that, but the question I ask is very simple. How many points do we actually need in order to know what this line looks like? So again, looking at this line, seeing what direction it goes, did we actually need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points to know this? No, we did not. In the functions we face in this chapter, we only need 2 points. In all honesty, if I would have plotted 0, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, -3, 1, 2, 3, that would have given me, with a ruler, the same general shape as what we have over here. So again, the idea that you need to think about when it comes to graphing a line, and only a line, which is really all we're going to graph in this level of algebra here for your freshman year or for your first year, that's all it's going to come down to. And so because of that, we can simplify our work. Alright. Again, I'm just going to discuss how to find those 2 points as well as how to graph them on a plane. So if I were you, what I would do right now, when you see this part here, independent variable, dependent variable, you only need 2 points. The easiest point to find is 0. And again, you can find this answer easily by simply plugging it in here. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 4 is -4. If you are not that type of person yet, then you can use a calculator, which I do not have around me for some reason. But take your calculator and simply type in 3 parentheses 0 minus 4, and you will see that your answer is -4. The second easiest number to check, again, the easiest number to check is 0. The second easiest number to check is 1. So I put a 1 in there. I get 3 times 1, which is 3, minus 4, which is -1. Again, if you wanted to check that on your calculator, you would simply type 3 parentheses -1 minus 4, and see your answer is -1. I don't know where my calculator went, but I guess it'll pop up some other time. Anyway, with this being done, now you plot 0, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you plot 1, -1, which is here. And from there, you have your line. Again, you do not need to plot 7 other points. You know that it's a line because it says it's a line, plus it's a y and an x. It's a regular linear pattern. You know that that's a line. That's going to be your shape. So that's all you have to do. Alright? Looking at this one, same thing. If you're asked to graph that, x, y, need 2 points. The easiest point to find is x equals 0. Plug in 0 here. -2 times 0 is 0, plus 5 makes 5. Second easiest number to check is 1. -2 times 1 is -2. -2 plus 5 is 3. Now plot these 2 points. 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3 is over 1, up 3. Those 2 points, because you know it's a linear graph, would represent the line that we are looking at. Okay? So again, on this test tomorrow, you're going to be asked to graph a line. You just have to make sure you have these 2 properties down use x equals 0, use x equals 1, and do that to make sure you know what's going on. Again, as you work today, make sure you ask about it or get some kind of help on it. Even if you're watching the video right now and you think you need more explanation, bring it up to me so I can help you. Another thing you're going to be asked to do is to make a table from a story problem. Skill is pretty straightforward. In some problems, we're given an equation with two variables that are used to make a table. So look at this example real fast. It says the amount a coach spends at a sporting goods store depends on the number of basketballs the coach buys. It says the situation is represented by the function rule a equals 17b. 1 second. Alright, sorry, once I realized we got 17, I needed a calculator, so I had to pause it and go get it. Anyway, it says make a table of values for the function rule. Here again is what you're going to do. Notice it gives you the variables in the table already, which is what it's going to do. And pretty much what you want to do is start at 0, because that's the easiest. That would be the number of, I would assume this is amount and this is basketballs. So starting at 0 basketballs, 1, 2, and 3 basketballs. And again, just like we learned in yesterday's work, all you have to do is take this independent variable value and plug it in. 17 times 0, we know that if we plug in 17 times 0, we get 0. We know that if we take 17 times 1, we get 17. 17 times 2, plugging this number in here, gives me 34. And 17 times 3 gives me 51. That is the table. Alright, so that's the first part you have to be able to do, is start off with, again, whenever you're plugging in values, start with 0 and count from there. So 0, 1, 2, 3. If they gave me another one, I'd go to 4. And then we simply take that value, plug it in, and put the result under it for A. Take B, plug in 1. If that is the answer, A would be what we get. Take 2, plug it in for B. Whatever your answer is goes in for A. Take 3, plug it in for B. Whatever answer we get goes in for A. The second question they ask is an algebra question. It says, suppose the coach spent $136 before tax. How many basketballs did she buy? Well, here's the equation. A equals 17b. Remember, this represents the amount of money. This represents the number of basketballs. And what you are learning now is that you have to read this and figure out what's what. This is not the number of basketballs. This is actually money, which means that this is the amount that she spent. So you would simply take this and plug it in for A. So 136 equals 17b. Now we solve the way we know to solve, which is divide by 17. And we get the answer of 8. So it means the coach bought 8 basketballs. So again, that's pretty much what's going on there. So you've got the table part that you have to know. Again, if you have an issue with that, let me know. And then you've got the part where we're going to say if they spent this much money, how many basketballs did they buy? And you answer that question, and that is it. Again, that is your new information for the assessment tomorrow, along with the stuff that we learned last week. So again, I hope you know how to do your graphs and your patterns and stuff, because that is still on there. Outside of those two parts, just be ready to, as I just said, to study the pattern recognition work. If you remember how to create a rule for something that matches on the first check, second check, and third check, then you're decent for this assessment. Another thing I want to make sure we look at, because we still have to move forward on, is rate of change. Yesterday we looked at using a table to find the rate of change, and we used the formula for M to find the rates of change. That formula was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or, as some of you just used your common sense, you used the difference part, and you said the distance here between 16 and 8 was that we always did second minus first, so we do 16 minus 8 here to find out that that is adding 8. We then come over here, because that's not even changing by 1, and we do second minus first, which is 1 minus 3. That gives me a distance of negative 2. And so what you do there is you take your y, divide it by your x, so 8 divided by negative 2 gives me an answer of negative 4. So whether you used 16 minus 8 over x2, which is second x, minus first x, 1 minus 3, which is still 8 over negative 2, either one of those gets you your answer. You have to pick one. You have to be comfortable with it, because that is what you're going to have to do after this test, and it's probably going to be your next assessment coming up that you'll need this skill. So make sure you work on that also, that you are getting that also, and not just letting it hang around. Today what we're going to do is look at finding the rate of change or slope of 2 points, and again, the shift is very simple. It's going to say find the slope of the line passing through these 2 points. Again, the key thing is slope. We know that the slope is based off of, the change in these rates. And so what I would do if I were you is simply take those 2 points, create an XY chart, and plug in the points. 411 is 1 point, so 411. 831 is another point, so 831. And then from there, now we go through and we say, all right, well, 31 minus 11 is 20. 8 minus 4 is 4. And so now you do 20 divided by 4, which is 5. Or you could do your y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is your 31 minus 11 over 8 minus 4. And again, you will get the same answer no matter what in that situation. Okay? Overall, what you're going to find out is that there are 3 ways to find the slope of a line. That's what tomorrow is going to be about. Again, you can have it giving 2 points, which is what we just talked about. You can have the slope of a line, which we will talk about tomorrow, and the slope of an equation, which again we will talk about tomorrow. Actually, I think we'll talk about that later. But you should have a solid amount of experience working with finding slope of 2 points. Tomorrow, again, we're going to take another short assessment and move on to other types of slopes, get some practice, and again, you have an assessment tomorrow over those 5 questions that we talked about. Not so much on slope, but the things that are going to be on your work today, so make sure to get to that and work hard on it. Good luck.